Cindy from Latoka Cindy, and today we're going to learn how to temper chocolate. So I know that sounds like a kind of complicated term, but you're very familiar with tempered chocolate because that's what we have in a standard candy bar. You can see this one is shiny and has a snap to it. That's tempering. So tempering is a process of heating and cooling chocolate to take molecules that are all in a crazy pattern and line them up in a grid molecular structure. So to do that, you'll need 2 pounds of chocolate chopped up in a bowl over a double boiler. Now, a double boiler is simply a saucepan with some water at the bottom. Put a heat-proof bowl on top. You'll also want 11 ounces of chocolate cut into 2 chunks, a thermometer, and I have a candy thermometer, but you can use an instant read thermometer, and tongs. Now, if you don't have tongs, you can use your fingers, but they'll get a little bit messy. So let's see how we temper chocolate and what are some of the uses we can do once we have our chocolate tempered. This bowl has 2 pounds of chocolate chopped up in small chunks, and we want to do it in small chunks because then it'll melt more evenly. And chocolate comes in all different variations in the amount of chocolate that you buy per bar. So for chocolate tempering, I like to use bittersweet chocolate. That's about 70% chocolate. And be prepared to kind of make a mess, but it's super fun. So you can see on my mitt here, which is a silicone mitt, I do have chocolate on it because chocolate does get messy, and today's going to get messy, but it's going to be fun. So we're going to melt this chocolate and bring it to 120 degrees. Your water shouldn't be touching the bottom of your bowl. You want the steam to be melting your chocolate. And don't allow the steam to seep up and get into your chocolate bowl. It will seize the chocolate, which means it turns into a kind of a craggy mess, and you want your chocolate to be smooth. Just like that chocolate bar I showed you, which is shiny and has a snap to it. Chocolate will melt at 90 degrees. We're going to bring it up to 120. While your chocolate's melting and getting to 120 degrees, it's perfect to be watching over it. And you can stir it periodically just to make sure that it's melting evenly. Measure the chocolate with your chocolate thermometer or your instant read thermometer. Keep melting it until it reaches 120 degrees. So let's take our chocolate off the heat. Now we're going to get to the cooling process. Give your chocolate a few more stirs. Put in your 2 seeds. Those are those 2 large chunks of chocolate. And keep stirring it, covering your chunks of chocolate with the melted chocolate. Until your thermometer measures about 95 degrees. Remove your chocolate from the bowl, the big chunks. They'll be a little bit melted, but not all melted, and set them aside. The remaining chocolate in your bowl is now tempered. So what can we do with that chocolate now that it's wonderfully tempered? It can be used for various purposes when you're making chocolates. My favorite thing to do is to dip ganache into the tempered chocolate and use a dipping fork and transfer sheets. I place the ganache in the tempered chocolate coat it, and put on these transfer sheets. And then magically, when the chocolate dries, we'll get this pattern. Tempered chocolate can also be used for shablons or for making molded chocolates. This is a hard mold for chocolates. This is a silicone mold for chocolate. You can use either of them for your tempered chocolate, and then you fill it with a ganache, typically a ganache that's not particularly firm. So you kind of think of a cordial or a more liquid form of a filling. So that's how you make tempered chocolate and some uses for it. Thanks for watching my video.